Hey, welcome here to the show. It's Rabbit and Red, and I am very happily, joined by not only Cole is back, and hopefully he's wearing the Apollo Creed outfit, which you will get ripped for, Cole, for WrestleMania, wearing an Apollo Creed-like outfit from Rocky IV. But I am joined with a very good friend, somebody who's always been supportive, and somebody that I'm just extremely happy to have back on the show to help out and just to make it the fun time that it needs to be. Please welcome to the show once again, from the Skeleton Crew, Dan Chase.
Hey, thank you. Which one were you, the redhead?
I was the on which?
You know.
I was a ginger?
I don't know. I just forget. You're all the same to me. I don't know. You know, from one horror podcast to the next, I can't keep track of you guys.
I'm sorry. My show is definitely the most mediocre out there, okay? Okay, before I started Rabbit and Red, every other show who ever had startup music had to have 20 minutes of horror clips and then followed by reverb after each clip. I stopped that. I made it 23 minutes. So I set the trend, Dan.
Innovators.
Exactly. And Cole, all honesty, that when I saw that, what you posted, one, to watch WrestleMania. Why do you have to get in the most flamboyant outfit?
He's a fan.
You made Fandango look straight.
Well, let's just put it this way. There's nothing more patriotic than WrestleMania. I don't know a single thing that's more patriotic than WrestleMania. So, obviously, my outfit for WrestleMania was right on cue, I thought.
I wouldn't say WrestleMania is patriotic, considering that crowd was about 60% overseas. It was in New York.
That's also true. But, I mean, it started in the United States, so...
Of course. It was first ever was in Madison Square Garden back in 85.
Which wasn't too far from where it was this year.
And next year it's going to be in St. Louis.
It's going to be in New Orleans.
Oh, that's right. New Orleans. Why did I say St. Louis?
I don't know.
Maybe I have Randy Orton on my mind. But maybe for next year you can get in a really even more feminine outfit. You know, with the,
no, I'll probably still be wearing the same exact outfit, but I'll actually be there next year.
Oh, Jesus. A young kid in New Orleans.
Yeah.
In that outfit.
Yeah, in that outfit. Yeah.
You're going to go over really well in that town.
Yeah, that's what I've been told.
Look at this motherfucker over here.
Somehow all the tattoos Cole has just disappear. You don't even see them anymore.
And we have the greatest show ever tonight. Dan, that's a trick. You have to say we have the greatest show ever because people might believe it. But really, there's nothing great. This is shitty. If you're listening, you're shit. Don't worry, I'll remember to edit that out later.
The content is shit, but the people are great. I get to do a show with you assholes, so that's great.
Well, I'm always happy to have you come back. And I remember we'll get into this now before we get into our new segment, and hopefully I can make this one last of taking advice from strangers.
Which I like this idea. It's great, except for the movie shit.
That wasn't a shit movie. We'll get into that, and I will defend that movie forever. But many of you might remember there was a time where Dan was back last January and March. I was MIA for the most part, and then when I came back to do Rabbit and Red, Mike quit. So
is that what happened?
Yeah, it's pretty much a gift I have. I kind of know how to poke the right people at the right time. It is a gift. But Dan and I we were starting to have toy with the idea of like, hey, just you and I, we'll do Rabbit and Red, and you liked it. But unfortunately, I had to abandon Rabbit and Red for a bit. But there was Mike's Movie Madness.
Yes.
And Dan was all Mike's Movie Madness. It's one of the most cringing things you'll ever listen to. Mm-hmm. Is that time with Mike, Rich, and Dan.
Good Lord.
It's really and well, it was just bad timing altogether. So I come back and I go, oh, maybe Dan can do do Rabbit and Red with me. Well, you sent me an email and you said, hey, I want to call you. All right. And Dan did this. I don't think I ever brought this up before. Dan didn't have to do this, but he did. And there was no way in my right mind I would ever say no. But Dan said, Alex contacted me, and he wants me to do the Skeleton Crew with him and Mike. And I know I've been a fan of you, Rabbit and Red, and what you do, and I just want to know if it's okay if I get your blessing, if that's okay. Is that how it went, Dan? If I'm...
Oh yeah, well yeah. If it's my turn to talk, I have to go a little further back than that, because Rabbit and Red, dude, pretty much one of the only horror podcasts I listen to start off. You remember, man, I sent you guys emails on Horrorbit, and that I just love the show. And dude, when I was listening to those shows to begin with, I was banging through them, firing through them, one after another after another. Now, from there, checked out Shock Till You Drop, other podcasts or whatever. Those are more kind of corporate, or kind of like from the Hollywood perspective. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're also more professional with structure, which I lack.
Well, yeah, but it's just a different thing in itself. But with the interviews, and then you guys had great personalities, so it was fun to listen to, right? So that's how I got into it, dude. So what transpired after that was, we got into, like you said, I owe everything to you guys because that's how everything started, and it's always been a good time. You know what I mean? Like, we just have a fucking blast, and you remember I did a couple guest spots here and there or whatever, and then everybody was kind of moving around, and you had a different co-host at one point, and, a little switching around and this and that or the other thing. So when we were doing it came to kind of a breaking point for me, because here's the deal. And you said something about structure. Now, Vince is gone. So, you were taking some time off. So it was me, Rich, and Mike. And I love those guys, man. Mike's the man, it sucks the way everything happened on the Skeleton Crew. But, not for lack of trying on my part. I wanted them to stay. They just couldn't get along, so it was what it was. But, I'm talking to them, and, Rich is a great guy too, but if somebody tells me, okay, so we're going to start in a few minutes, Dan, I don't know, I don't really have much to say, we're just going to follow your lead, okay, 3, 2, 1, go. And I'm like, I'm just not that guy, you know what I mean? So by the time, because me and Alex have been talking before we even did a show together, because he liked, certain stuff that I did on the show or whatever, I don't know why, but he noticed something that in me or whatever, and I was checked out his show, and I liked his garbage pail thing, because I always told Alex, only you can take the most absurd thing and make it entertaining, and that was a, because I never heard really you guys together in the beginning or whatever, so when I hooked up with Alex or whatever, he's like, okay, this is what I want to do, what do you think about this? And it was a very interactive thing. So him and Mike were basically together, and if you notice on those first show, I'm a special guest host. Like, they didn't know we talked about this, and I didn't know, dude. Like, I don't know.
It's almost as if you're on this like the NBA 10-day contract.
Yeah, dude. Oh, absolutely, man. I was on fucking thin ice for sure. So I didn't know, they didn't know. So when we started going, man, something clicked in us, and now a lot of good shit, and with, I'm not that guy, though. See, I'm not the guy to take the lead. I don't have that ability, nor do I want it. So when I'm told 3, 2, 1, go, yeah, I can rap. Like, dude, I can shoot the shit for a few hours. I don't give a fuck. Do I necessarily want to record that for a podcast and release that on the internet? No.
What? I've been doing it for 3 years, and it's been...
It was just one of those things where, that's you, man. That's not me, bro. And I think within the context of everything where I'm at now, it all works good because I have structure, and we're a cohesive unit now, and we can move forward with that. If I got nothing, dude, like I said, we can bullshit about, Spider-Man 3 and why it sucked and all that shit. I do, believe me, I'm the biggest geek of them all. Like, I loved it. But at the same time, it's like, it just, it fell flat for me. And, unfortunately, yeah, it was just one of those situations where I was moving on, and I contacted you, Vince, and I said, hey, listen, man, I just wanted to get your blessing on this. I was going to move forward and do this, and yeah, man, it's never been a thing between any of us. It's just, it is what it is, shit happens, and shit keeps on moving,
Exactly. And the shit that's going to move tonight, I still have, in about, I want want to say 10 to 15 minutes from now, I am going to make my. I have to decide on the Horror 64 Madness remake. And I thought there's so many votes. It won 34-34. The Thing versus Halloween, and I wasn't going to. So it got tied up, and I wasn't going to do the coin flip. That decided one of the films early on. I thought you can't do it for the championship to crown a winner. I don't think it's right. So I stated, hey, I am going to I'm going to watch both of them. I have both on Blu-ray. I'm going to watch them both. So then I thought, because I'm brilliant, of course, I came up with this brilliant idea. Let me text Mike and then let me text Alex.
Oh, that's a brilliant idea. Text Mike.
Well, I didn't really have to text Mike. I mean, we all know. I think Mike voted anyway already.
Well, I think I know who we voted for.
Yeah. So of course Mike goes with Halloween.
I'm kidding, Mike. I'm kidding.
No, you're not, sir. It's the greatest
sir.
movie. So Mike does, of course, Halloween. So I text Alex, and then he asked, favorite or I said no. If you had to pick between The Thing or Halloween for Horror 64 Madness,
right.
And I'm hoping, please, Alex, just pick Halloween. Make my life easy. Goes The Thing. Thank you. So that makes it 35-35. So in about 10 to 15 minutes from now, I am going to give you my vote and why I voted for the particular film I did.
Okay.
And I hated it had to turn out this way because all the voting was pretty close, but I thought, man, there's no way. There's no way. And sure enough. But before we get to that, there's this.
Yeah.
The new segment, Taking Advice from Strangers. What this is simple. We always have our supporters on the Facebook fan page. And a lot of them, they've seen movies that I haven't seen, Cole hasn't seen, Rich hasn't seen. None of us really watched. So we're going to start taking your advice and watch these films. And tonight, I wanted to start it off with a favorite of mine that I've been watching since the age of 6. And that's going back to 1984's Ninja 3, The Domination.
Jesus.
He is the most feared and powerful warrior. A ninja who breaks from ancient tradition and explodes onto America. His soul possesses the body of an innocent woman and transforms her into a lethal assassin. Who are you? I want to help her. Only a ninja can destroy a ninja. Her only hope is Yamada, the master ninja, who has been sent to destroy him. Where Revenge of the Ninja left off, Ninja 3 begins. An epic struggle of superhuman strength and supernatural forces. Ninja 3, The Domination.
Let me set this up for you. Okay, in the 80s, ninja movies were amazing. They were everywhere. So,
They're like zombies. Yeah.
Yeah.
but in 1984, we also knew that, well, horror is big. So how can we combine horror and ninjas together? Well, there was a hit 10 years before this film called The Exorcist. What if you took The Exorcist and a ninja and mashed it together? What would you get? Plain out amazingness for 92 minutes. That's what you would get. Ninja 3 takes the body, the beautiful body of not a construction worker. She's an operator.
She's a utility operator.
Yes. Because a lot of attractive women have that job.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
It's normal.
Yeah.
And they have to take power lines out in the middle of nowhere. But it stars a really beautiful Lucida Dickey, who is probably best known for being in movies like Electric Boogaloo 2. It was a big movie at its time, and you have one of the you have one of the biggest martial arts stars, Sho Kosugi, who's been in tons of movies, always playing either a good ninja or the evil ninja, and it was directed by Sam Furstenberg, who went on to direct movies like Breaking 2, Electric Boogaloo, and it's a great film. And that American Ninja, Avenging Force. Guy was really known for that action. His peak was all in the 80s and for Cannon Films. So I want to start with, because I know Cole wasn't really into it. Cole, give me your take on Ninja 3: The Domination.
Well, it's a bit outdated. So
no, it's not.
So
it's only 29 years old.
yeah,
older than me.
I watched it in bed last night, and I was on my iPad while I was watching it. So I had to have something to do. But the opening sequence was probably my favorite when the handheld helicopter went down in flames after the ninja killed about 79 people in a roundabout mile radius, and got shot I don't know how many times, and still was able to stab some people in the head. And then of course you have the ever-loving love scene that the female actress, the lead actress, pours tomato juice on herself during.
Okay, that's where I want to get to. I want to get Dan on this too. We were talking about this earlier before the show, Cole and I. Jordan Bennett, who's the second lead, he plays the officer Billy Secord. Jordan Bennett went on to do other films such as Nothing. This was the only film he's ever done.
Oh, those?
Yes.
Well, let's just say that the lead female actress and him fall in love pretty quickly in the movie.
Right?
Well,
she says "I love you" within like 5 days of dating.
Yeah, exactly.
That chest. How do you not love that chest? Jordan Bennett is by far the hairiest man ever. So the love scene here, which there's no nudity in this, she takes V8 because Christy, the main character, is very health oriented. Not only is she a utilities operator, she also teaches an aerobics class, which we'll get onto that scene in a bit.
Oh, God. Well.
So she takes this V8 and undoes Billy Secord's shirt to reveal the hairiest chest ever. And she pours the V8 on her, and he, licks it up. Which was really just, I think his hairy chest blew it for me there. Like, to this day, that's why I don't shave my chest, but I keep it pretty neat now because of that. That's
you gotta trim it,
and it's really uncomfortable. But when I said she teaches aerobics, this is how they get back to the apartment. Before this, there's the aerobics scene. And I will not, I haven't been kidding with this. I've been looking for this soundtrack, Ninja 3: The Domination, for the past 15 years. I can't find it. Mm-hmm. Because there's some really shitty
that
music.
Fucking song! Oh my god, dude! I had to rewind it because that song was so fucking ridiculous.
Body rock.
Oh yeah, I was trying to figure out which one. I mean, because it's all bad, so I was trying to remember which one you were talking about.
So they have
that was sorry, Vince. That was the point where I was just like, my jaw just dropped, and I was like, okay, this is so revealing about Vince.
I love some really great movies, and these are ones that it's my guilty pleasure.
Oh man.
In that scene with that lead up of they're in the aerobics studio, there's you have the aerobics studio, and then you have the gym, and this horrible song is playing, and then you have these angry weightlifters, which later turns out to be rapists.
There's like a whole crowd around them, but yet they're not stopping this rape. Like they're just letting this happen.
Accomplices.
Yeah, it's like all going to jail for just standing there right now.
And the clip right here is one of my favorites, where they come on, we'll take a shower, we'll get to know each other. And there's like 5 of them.
Hey! Come on, you guys, now let her go. Go on, Lucy. Don't let them scare you.
What do we get?
Hey, who the hell you think you are?
I'm the one telling you to get out of my way.
Or maybe we just save you for dessert, huh?
You guys are disgusting.
Oh, hey. Well, excuse me.
What was your idea in the first place?
Yeah, hey, look. We'll be friends, all right? We'll take a shower, we'll have beers.
Get your hands off of me!
And then the off-duty cop isn't doing anything either. He's just watching.
Well, that's what I don't get. Okay, so he doesn't stop her from being raped, but then he gives her a ride home and is a total asshole to her, and then like he calls her out on it, and then she sleeps with him. That's a whole 5-minute sequence right there.
Well,
Wow, you're right, dude.
Yeah.
It sounds so absurd that I didn't pick up on that, but you're right.
I would like to interject. Maybe it wasn't her being slutty. Maybe it was the ninja spirit inside being slutty. You ever think of it that way?
It could have been.
Possibly.
Have you ever been around Asians? I mean, the Asian men are quite pushy.
Yeah.
I just like how he was trying to be the rebound guy from her just being raped. Like, that's its rebound.
That's exactly it. Well, I mean, the whole movie beforehand, he's just a straight asshole to her, and then,
Right.
you know, and then all of a sudden she's a bitch to him, and he freaks out in the car.
The best is, when I'm younger watching that, I don't know what's going on. I just think these guys are teasing her. As you get older, like, these guys were trying to rape her.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah, clearly.
You know, I'm 6, 7 years old watching this going, yeah, she's going to beat these guys up because they're bullying her. You get older, like, these guys wanted to rape her. This
And
is
then
not right.
There was one guy who was on the bench press, too, and he just couldn't do it. Like, when they first introduced the scene, he was struggling so bad. What the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
It zooms out, it's like 20 pounds. Like, got such a massive erection, I just can't.
Well, the best part is you can, I don't know if you catch this, but you can see the hoist on the back of the golf cart when he's picking it up.
Oh, yes.
At that
Yeah.
beginning sequence.
Well, and here's the other thing. And I remember a couple years ago, I did a review of this. It wasn't that good because I just didn't know how to condense it. And we start off, the whole movie starts off with which I think is the most action-packed 12 to 15 minutes in any movie, one of the like top 20 if you could. It also has a higher body count in the first 12 to 15 minutes than half of the Friday 13s put together.
Yeah, well, of just ridiculousness, though.
Exactly. And this is...
I mean, it's not comparable.
It's so odd, and it starts off this way. When you think about Ninja 3: The Domination, it actually had a storyline that it stopped following after 12 minutes.
Yeah, right?
Because it opens up, you see the evil ninja, which is played by David Chung, who was actually a doctor before he got into acting. He was a legitimate medical doctor. And he gets into this cave, and all of his ninja gear is stored there, which I still love that scene because I love the synthesizer score.
Yeah, right? 80s.
Yeah.
So he gets dressed up, and he goes onto this golf course. There's 5 bodyguards, and there's a golfer, and looks to be his wife. All of them get wiped out. And then this 10-minute rage of killing cop after cop after cop. So we only find out about after Lucida Dickey's character has been possessed, but she doesn't know. She's in the police station, and they say, a scientist was killed. And that's it. We never hear anything else about why the scientist was killed.
Right.
Yeah.
Which, it's like they stop following the story. It later comes on that she now gets possessed. And one of her first kills that she does on her own, you didn't know this. I only knew this by looking it up years ago. The first cop that she takes out is John LaMotta. He was an actor, but his brother was the famous boxer Jake LaMotta, best portrayed in the movie by Martin Scorsese, Raging Bull. Mm-hmm. So, and still around too. But it is one of those films, Ninja 3 in a whole. It's a mind-numbing, fun time.
Right.
Am I right with that? Do you think that's how I'm viewing this?
Dude.
When I gave it to you guys to watch, I said watch it because I promote this movie as a fun time. How can you not laugh or enjoy it?
No, I mean, I wish I was high and I would have giggled.
Yeah, dude.
Like, I haven't been feeling good the last couple of days, so like I went to bed real early last night, and so like I put it on when I was just like laying in bed, and I finished the whole movie, but like I said, I think if I would have been high, I would have just giggled through the whole thing, especially when the sword comes flying out of the closet, like, just by itself, you know.
Yeah.
It is a fun movie to watch, like especially it would definitely be one of those watch it with friends, so you
Exactly.
can
Yep.
you know.
And later on in the show, we're going to have go over some of the best horror movie quotes and horror movie lines. There was one of my favorite lines from this movie, and it has to be because Sho Kosugi, who is a really humble man, truly is. And he's even said in interviews, I was the worst actor ever. I didn't know how to act. And I love him just for saying that, because I didn't think he was a horrible actor, but I always loved, because English is not his first language, it's how he would emphasize words, such as the one scene where he goes, only a ninja can kill a ninja. And it's just that, like, it's almost like a engine revving.
Right.
But it almost became a staple in ninja movies, though. The way they said that, though.
Oh, I think he would just have these, like, don't worry. And it's like, he just, these small little lines, and we know it's a shitty movie, but it's also a kick-ass shitty movie.
And it was meant to be, though, right? Obviously.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was. But, dude, like you said, though, man, ninja movies were huge around this time. So it's so weird, though, seeing it now, almost out of context, because, you know what I mean? Like, back then it was huge, but now it's even better. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was telling you the other day about, like, Black Dynamite, even, you know? It's like, and then you told me of another movie, which we're not going to call.
Oh, no, 1974. No, I have it. 1974's Boss Nigger, that stars the famous football player, Fred Williamson, and it's that movie. Real quick, is just about a black sheriff in a racist white town in the 1800s. Right. Unfortunately, and that was black exploitation movies.
Yeah.
Now it's just called Boss, but that movie was. I used to rent that as a kid with me and one of my best friends growing up. Dana was a black kid, and his father was racist towards black people, which was funny.
Like Clinton Bigsby.
And Dana and I would go in Blockbuster to rent it just to make the people feel uncomfortable.
Oh,
we were 12 years old in 7th grade in Philly doing this, and
wow. I love those movies though that know what they are, but dude, like you said, you know, I knew this movie would make you guys giggle when you were even talking about the golf course scene. I was sitting there laughing because I'm thinking about it, bro. Motherfucker climbs a tree, jumps on the helicopter from the fucking palm tree, but then somehow, like, I guess he fucked up the driver of it too. Like, not only
but
who? Like, why did he crash?
No, here's why. Because he takes the throw-in star, he puts it in his, I forget the correct name of it, and once I owned this, I got to tell that story real quick. He puts the throw-in star into his boot, and then kicks it while throwing it, and it goes into the helicopter pilot's ear. Killing him. So the other guy, you know, tries to see what's going on. He gets slashed, and then they do this nice twirling effect into this lake. And then when he comes out, he shoots a dart into another police officer's eye, and then gets out, quickly drives off too, and just then kills about. I think that part he kills about 40 people.
Right. Yeah. Yep. Ridiculous.
And of course, and he possesses the Christie's character, so he can get revenge. Because he wasn't wrong, you know.
Yeah.
Like those bastards.
Well, you know, when he blows that blow dart through the hole of the gun and blows up the gun while the guy that was a pretty classic scene.
That's ninja magic. Or there's an how can I forget this? This was it was one of those laughable. There's many laughable scenes in this whole film, which makes it a classic. He's on top of the police car, and two cops on the bike are driving. They look at each other, and he throws one throwing star at the other, and the other cop he keeps going. Like
Yeah,
he just
right.
like dude, do you just learn? Like
Yeah.
just stop, just slow it down a bit. It's just filled with ridiculousness. Oh, and here, to follow the creepiness, like the gym scene afterwards.
Yeah.
How about the one cop who has the two girls he's trying to have a threesome in a hot tub?
Oh yeah.
Right.
And Christy comes in, and she looks really good.
Oh yeah. Better than the two chicks that were in there.
Yeah,
Great.
and she's just wearing a one piece, and
Yep.
and the one girl goes, "Who's she?" And then another girl says, "I don't know, but I don't like her." And then the cop is, "I don't know, but she could stay." It's just that like really just
Cheesy one-liner.
yeah, with this awful just mustache and
Yeah.
Right.
Like I don't like who is he supposed to be representing? Because that guy has no other character besides that.
And I think, and that's another guy who only did about one or two films afterwards. Most of these people in this movie were just this was their first and only film that they ever did, which I don't know why. I'm not
What do you
saying-
mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean? It's Ninja 3 or whatever.
maybe. Maybe
Vince is really truly surprised. I don't know why. Why are these people opposite? You know.
I still to this. I've always wanted to interview Sam Furstenberg, the director, because like Revenge of the Ninja, which was actually this was a sequel to Revenge of the Ninja, and this film was part of a trilogy. Then all three had no connecting storylines.
Right.
But Sam Furstenberg was good because he knew how to make a fun action movie.
I'm sure you could get him, dude.
I don't know.
Is he busy on Transformers 4 or?
He could be redoing Cyborg Cop. He did Cyborg Cop.
Oh, nice.
Well, he's from Poland. I know that.
Why is that so funny?
Because he's Polish.
Oh
I don't know why that was so funny.
It just seems like it's making more sense by the minute. This movie just
It actually makes no sense. What do Polish
Exactly.
people know about ninjas?
on golf courses, and then the helicopter fucking crashing into fucking mountains. Oh, it's great. Oh,
Okay, if you have to, and I'm going to say because part of taking advice from strangers is about how they pitch you the film. I pitched this one to you guys about it's fun, it's action filled, and it has a high body count. And I never pitched it as it's the greatest film ever. So, because I pitched it, I feel I sold the movie correctly. Dan, we'll go to you first. We'll do the 4-star review. We can go 3.5 or out of 4 stars. What would you give Ninja 3 the domination?
Well, first of all, you didn't have to pitch it to me. This movie's infamous on your fucking list. So when you said when I saw that link that you sent me, I was like, uh-oh. I was like, let's get the bong and let's get this party started.
I actually did a really big groan. I was like, God damn it. I knew it was going to be Ninja 3, too. And once Vince said it, like, oh, I got this new segment. It's awesome. I'm like, it's going to be great. I'm into this. And Ninja 3. Are you kidding me?
Jesus! Oh,
But it ended up being good. It was a good, laughable movie.
I love it, dude. Yeah. So out of 4, man, this was definitely a 3, and purely on entertainment value, not quality.
Yeah, that's how I'm selling it.
Yeah, man.
Cole, what about you?
I give it a 2.5. That I would give it a 3 if it wasn't for that whole sex scene. That tomato juice just really threw me off, man. I don't know.
Well, you told me last night you had a tough time trying to find the right frame of Jordan Bennett so you can jerk it to his face. But I mean, maybe
his back
only
hair. His back hair.
he did. He still has the best back hair in the business.
I will give you that.
He's
I can't argue that.
He's a back body double for Ron Jeremy.
Oh God!
Hey, we're going to take a break. On the other side, I am going to finally reveal my winner for Horror Remake 64, Madness. And it's The Thing or Halloween. And then we're going to get into some more favorite, more memorable horror quotes. Why? Because I'm lazy. I don't come up with good enough topics. So deal with it, dicks. We'll be right back on the other side. You're listening to Rabbit and Red.
Masters of Horror. John Carpenter, director of Halloween, The Fog, Christine, and Memoirs of an Invisible Man. And Tobe Hooper, director of Poltergeist and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Together, they bring you a frightening new tale of horror.
Here we are, Body Bag. The hell does that come from?
Nightmares of monstrous evil.
He cut him up. You see? I have his eye, you know.
John Carpenter takes you on a terrifying journey.
I'll have to finish digging your grave.
Into the darkness of the human soul.
What's happening to me? Nighty-night.
Robert Carradine, Mark Hamill, Deborah Harry, Stacy Keach, David Naughton, David Warner, Twiggy, Sheena Easton, featuring cameos by top horror film directors. Wes Craven of Nightmare on Elm Street, Sam Raimi of Evil Dead, Roger Corman of The Little Shop of Horrors, John Carpenter, and Tobe Hooper. Body Bags.
Welcome back here to the show. And before we went to the break, I was going to finally give my vote, my deciding factor, Cole and Dan, of The Thing or Halloween. Okay. I'm willing to do it now. I rewatched both of these films. I've probably seen Halloween a lot more than I have ever had seen with The Thing. I first watched Halloween when I was 6 years old. And that movie, that truly introduced me to horror. It was that and Jaws were the first two horror films I watched in the same week. So every time I watch Halloween, there's still that little 6-year-old in me that goes, "I love this. It's scary. Look at that mask. What's going to happen?" And then there's The Thing. Mm-hmm. The Thing, in a lot of ways, might single-handedly be the greatest remake of a horror movie ever done.
Right.
That's an important factor.
Mm-hmm.
You also have to keep in mind with The Thing, what makes it special, kind of what makes Halloween special, is the fact of the music plays a big part in it. And that score is excellent. And Cole, we talked about this. If you have to pick out a scene from Halloween or pick out a scene from The Thing, which one would you sell to somebody who's never seen it? And I told you that with The Thing, it's the testing scene of the blood.
Yeah.
Man, it's an intense movie. So
that whole, what was it, 4 or 5 minutes long?
Yes.
that scene is, that whole scene is just intense.
It's a phenomenal, really well done film. I think the acting too. You have Kurt Russell. I find him to be highly underrated, even though he did Tango and Cash. But Kurt,
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
but Kurt Russell, I'm a Kurt Russell fan.
I love Death Proof, dude. I know
Oh.
that's an underrated film for me, dude. He's
great. He's phenomenal in that role.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. With the cast of The Thing, you have a lot of famous faces too. Wilford Brimley.
right.
Then you have Richard Bowser, who many people may not remember who he is, but he was in movies like Risky Business. I still remember him as a kid watching. oh God, I'm trying to think. With the two Coreys that licensed to drive, he was Mr. Anderson. He was the father.
Sure.
You have famous faces in here, but it comes down to my vote. That 6-year-old kid still comes out with when it comes to Halloween. It's
nostalgia wins.
It's The Mask. It's then you look at Donald Pleasance's performance. You know, Jamie Lee Curtis, her first film. You think, wow, Halloween is better than The Thing. And all those diehard Halloween fans out there. There's not diehard The Thing fans out there. There's diehard Halloween fans that they make masks. They go to conventions. It could be Brian Andrews at a convention. They'll drive 100 miles just to see him and take a picture with him. So when I think about this, it goes Halloween. Is Halloween better than The Thing? And when I think about all that with that nostalgia of Halloween and that 6-year-old boy, I have to tell you right now, my vote. That 6-year-old boy and Donald Pleasance fucking kissed my ass because The Thing is now the winner of Horror Remake 64 Madness. So all you little fanboys out there could take the little DVD and Blu-rays aside and watch them side by side because no matter what, The Thing is better than Halloween. It has better acting, better directing, even though John Carpenter did a phenomenal job with Halloween. But I'm not going to be sitting here right now and saying what a fanboy, and because, it was the light and it was the music. Yes, I know it's a good movie. Yes, it did spawn it, but when it comes to original horror movies, it's not number one. Number one as a remake in horror movie goes to The Thing, and John Carpenter dominated that film. And like I said, the overall music, you're on the edge of your seat when you watch The Thing. You can sit back and relax with Halloween. It's a scary movie. There's suspense, but you are not on the edge of your seat because you've seen that before. You've seen the story before. Done a little bit differently, twisted it up. But overall, if I had to make a choice, The Thing, hands down. That is your 2013 Horror 64 Madness winner.
It's an outrage.
Wow. Vince is like an M. Night Shyamalan flick with the twist ending.
Yeah.
I think I just pissed off a couple Halloween people.
I think you confused them.
You pissed me off.
Oh, well, get over it.
Not really.
Not really. Why don't you make room and get a tattoo about it?
I probably will. I already have a Halloween tattoo, thank you very much.
You're missing an important aspect, though, Vince, I gotta say. Now, technically speaking, yeah, bigger budget, I'd say The Thing, it's got a helicopter in it, and all these things going on.
If you would move with helicopters, Vince. Come on.
Exactly.
Well, that's Dan. Dan's big thing now with the budget. It's like, wait, it had a helicopter? Holy shit. How much was this? Like $20 million?
Dude, it's the I'm big on the cultural significance, dude. Cultural significance of Halloween, I think, makes it better. But that you can't compare the two. That great fucking films, which makes this a very tough decision. But would you agree too that once you're fucking putting up The Thing against Halloween, it's all personal preference at that point,
Now, personal preference. If somebody asks what's your favorite movie, The Thing or Halloween, I will tell you right now, Halloween. Right. But the way I viewed this was when you break it into there was the categories, a remake category and the original category. Original horror, modern day times, I still feel Psycho is number one because of that time frame and that story. But when it comes to a remake of horror, and maybe because, like us, we are now force-fed these remakes many of us do not like, do not appreciate, do not enjoy. And we can look back to a movie such as The Thing and say, wow, that might be the best remake hands down. And a lot of people would not argue that. It's not a fact, it's my opinion, but many people would agree with that.
Yeah.
So.
And hey, can we get into that real quick? Because you saw Evil Dead. I know you guys talked about this on the show before. No, maybe I didn't hear you guys talk about it. Anyways, let's talk about it. Evil Dead. What'd you guys think?
I have to sit this one out. I haven't seen it yet.
Boo this!
Yeah,
man.
I had a really busy weekend. Thursday we had a really big show at the bar I work at, so I didn't get to go to the midnight showing. Friday I had to work. Saturday I had to work. Sunday was WrestleMania, and then this whole week I haven't gotten a chance to see it yet because I've had classes and homework to do. So. I will see it this weekend. I have this whole weekend off. I have a bunch of family coming into town and stuff, so I will see it by this weekend. But I've been hearing great things though, so I'm excited.
I could tell you, I feel, Cole, you'll like this movie. I liked it. I'm not going to get into the in-depth interview. I feel I'm probably the worst person to interview new movies. I don't know what to say about them without giving everything away or just making it boring. But when it came to...
I want to know how you interview a movie.
It's very simple. You get the whole cast, and this coming from a guy who always constantly sounds like he swallowed horse shit. That's go put on your Bill Buckner jersey and find a job.
Manure. I hate manure.
Marty. That's right. One Back to the Future reference.
This here Marty McSuperfly, baby.
That was the blaxploitation version of the film.
Yes, Family Guy. Yes, indeed.
No, when I liked Evil Dead, I wasn't a huge fan of the original either, so it made this easier. I thought it was a solid remake. Could have really focused on... I didn't care a lot about the characters of the movie. I could care less who got killed. That tore me apart.
Yeah. Yep.
Directing, it's good for gore. The only reason I like this is it made me want to see the second one because I feel the second one should and needs to be better than the first one.
Right.
So,
right. And the whole mixing and matching thing. What do you guys think about that? About throwing ash in? Yeah, but how are they gonna do it? How are they gonna do it? Totally.
But I'm fucking pumped.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like I'm literally sitting here with my arms crossed right now, just pumped.
Just fucking pumped.
I don't know how else to say it. I want to say.
Hey, you think you're pumped?
Nothing else has done that for whole.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's new. It's game changing.
Well, you know what? The person I feel was more pumped, and he pulled a Michael J., and I told him this. Great supporter of the show, and he was a supporter of Skeleton Crew. John Moraine told me he saw Evil Dead 3 times already.
Wow.
I saw it twice.
Oh, you're.
I will see it. I swear to fucking God, I will see it.
It's just fun, man. You can't expect too much from it. It's a movie. If you try and compare it to anything, you're gonna fucking be disappointed.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the way I've been going into it too. So.
I'm not worried about you, Cole. I know how.
Yeah. And I think that's where I learned a lot from Michael J. Speaking of which, he taught me something, and it's not a joke. When we saw Halloween. It was probably our 5th time seeing it together.
Right.
And it was 5th time, and then we also had screener copies of it, so we were watching this from home. But we saw it together in the theaters, and this was both our 2nd time seeing it in the theater. And before I went into it, I was telling Mike, man, I didn't like this, I didn't like that. Mike told me, Vince, you have to forget the original. Go in as if it's a fresh movie. Yep. I actually did it. I was able to enjoy it. The more I watched it, the more I enjoyed it. I was very easily able to do that with Evil Dead. Right. And I also noticed this real quick before we move on. A lot of feedback. I went on the internet to see this, and I was only asked one of my friends who hasn't. He never watched the original Evil Dead, was never into horror. He saw Evil Dead, the new one, and he told me, I loved it.
Nice. Okay.
And what that reminded me of is the original Evil Dead, where Evil Dead, and I've said this before, a lot of people who were not hardcore horror fans really found this love with the original Evil Dead, and mostly the love for the character of Ash. So
right.
I thought that was, even though it was one person, I don't know how everybody else feels that's not a horror fan, but I kind of giggled with that, thinking, hey, it might happen again.
Right.
So
yeah. See that happened with me. Quite a few friends on Facebook that I know, aren't horror fans at all, but did see Evil Dead this weekend, and they were like, "That film scared the shit out of me," like, and that's awesome. Like for Evil Dead to do that to fans, and they liked it. That was the main thing too. It didn't just scare the shit out of them; they liked it. Right. So yeah, and I remember me and Vince talking about that before that. The original, not a lot of hardcore horror fans like that film.
Right.
And so, yeah, I thought that was great. It's just, a clockwork situation just keeps turning.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm pretty hardcore too, but I liked Evil Dead. I didn't think it was anything that great. You know, I thought I liked this movie actually better than the original.
Oh, really, Dan? You're hardcore.
Yep.
Who was the second director of? Who was the second unit director of Chopping Mall from 1986?
That would be who gives a flying fuck? Who talks about movies in the 80s?
I do.
I could tell you, you know, any movie that came out in the last couple of years and give you an in-depth review because how it.
Well, you know what? My calendar doesn't go past December 1989, so.
I could tell. No, hey, I've heard you talk about Scream once or twice.
No, I talk about the new films.
You did mention Scream.
I watched the new films. I just don't like them. I ripped apart Creep Fan.
Right. Creep Fan?
Yeah. That was it. I still have yet to watch that.
Wouldn't you just love, Cole, just to hear like a review? Vince do like, you know, House of the Devil, and Vince. All right, here we go.
I liked House of the Devil. House of the Devil.
Do a review on it.
Why? Why? See, that's my thing with reviews. Really, why do you need me to review something where you people out there you have a brain, you can watch it. You know, I don't. So many fucking shows do a horror review, and there's always that one little dipshit that I didn't like it because the one guy he was the director.
I agree. I agree.
But I think when you come to what you and Alex and Jamie do, that's your thing. You're good at that. I feel I'm not the best with reviewing the new stuff, and people don't come to Rabbit and Red to get horror news. They come here to listen to some idiot talking on the mic.
But dude, well, here, yes, but when people listen to reviews, man, we talked about this a lot too. A lot of people, even including myself, don't have a lot of horror friends that are around to shoot the shit with. So when people hear a conversation about the latest movies, about horror movies, that's where they go for it. They go to the internet. They go to a show that talk, you know, and if they don't want to know about the movie for some reason, they don't have to listen, but that's what we do. It's just creating a fun atmosphere about the movies that we love and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So to me, it's just shooting the shit, having fun, and that just, you know, happens to translate, which is fucking great. You know, what else could you want? But it's just fun. You know,
I've tried.
Needs to do a review. It needs to be like a live video blog.
Exactly.
And he's just sitting there watching the film, and he's like, "Oh, that girl's tits are too small. She can't be on film."
Right,
you know,
right.
Just shit like that. I think it would be great.
And dude, I'm such a fucking stoner. If everybody's really listening to what I say and saying, "Oh, I gotta check out what Dan Chase says about this movie because I'm not gonna see it if he doesn't think it's right," then they're fucking insane, dude. You know, I don't think it's about listening to get something out of it. Like, oh, you know,
I get
what they think. I just think it's fun.
No, I get that too. Also, I'm not placing blame either. Cole and I, we've talked about new stuff every time. And I'm not burying Rich here, but every time we would try to do a new movie, no matter what it is, he still brings up The Orphan Killer. So it's like, hey, I saw Hansel and Gretel, and I really liked it. You know, The Mask and The Orphan Killer. Well, no, but I'm talking about Hansel and Gretel. That's cool. You see The Orphan Killer? It's like
or Leslie Version behind The Mask.
Yeah. I mean, great films in their own, but you know.
But hey, that's why I love Rich.
What time and what place.
That's why I love Rich. We all have our quirks, and it's our job to exploit it. It's what we do.
Exactly.
Of exploitations, horror always was known for exploiting. What I wanted to exploit tonight is the quotes, the lines. How about that? How about that for a segue, Dan? You don't learn that in dickhead school, huh?
Put that in your fucking pipe and smoke it, you Philly motherfucker.
I have a lot of. I thought about this. I was thinking more of the modern days, and then just those quotes and those lines from horror movies. I want to get John Moraine gave me his list. One day, John's going to come on the show. He has to.
It's going to be legendary once he does.
Yeah, it'll be monumental.
Because you know he's smart. I have that. I think John's going to sound one of two ways, like a really deep voice or extremely high pitched. I don't think he has a voice like either, like in the middle. It's going to be something like really throws you, like knocks you on your ass.
Or he'll just call in and whisper, "Hello, guys. It's John Moran."
I feel like Jax Teller from Sons of Anarchy when he's talking to somebody.
Yeah, did you guys watch the
straight whisper
Dead at all? Where they have the thing after The Walking Dead. Did you guys see that or hear about this?
No.
There was a creepy guy who called in. the end is coming, and then he just hung up. Or I think actually the show cut him off or something. The end is near, and they're all just sitting there like, oh.
No, it was actually the producer telling them that your season 4 is not going to happen.
Yeah.
Might not after that fucking
picked
finale,
up.
bro. What a weak ass finale that was. Good lord.
It was terrible.
Oh my
the fucking
goodness.
show. Go figure.
Well,
Yeah, you don't like that shit at all, do you?
oh, I fucking
a lot of
hate it.
people don't. I wanted to get on some of the things that I probably what John has listed. At least this one might. I'm sure you guys also thought of this, but it's a famous one. It goes back to 1978's Halloween with Loomis and Brackett in the old Myers house, and Loomis gives the Devil's Eyes speech, the pure evil.
I met him 15 years ago. I was told there was nothing left. No reason, no conscience, no understanding, and even the most rudimentary sense of life or death, of good or evil, right or wrong. I met this 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face and the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes. I spent 8 years trying to reach him, and then another 7 trying to keep him locked up, because I realized that what was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil. What do we do? He's been here once tonight. I think he'll come back.
That whole dialogue really, it starts setting that tone and building that character. Do you feel that's one of the more important lines of Halloween from 1978? We'll start with you, Cole.
I definitely think so. It's definitely the one of 2 that stick out in my head. That, and I mean, and it's been used in multiple bands that I know, songs, you know. It's like, it sticks with everyone, you know. You see Halloween, because that's what you learn about Dr. Loomis's relationship with Michael Myers,
His
you know.
obsession.
Yeah, exactly. Like his obsession with him. And, you know, he's been with him for 17 years or 15 years or whatever, you know, and that's when you get that insight on that whole relationship.
Rich made a site off of it, you know, the devilseyes.com.
Exactly.
What about you, Dan?
Yeah, definitely, man. Because even when you take it out of context of the movie, like Cole said, putting it in songs and shit, it's the perfect, you know, length of time, and he sounds so distinguished, and when he's getting into it, and then the fucking music on top of that, and I mean, that's played throughout the movie, but they play it over the head again, it's perfect.
It is, and John also gave a couple that they were also on my list, but one, Psycho, very famous one. We all go a little mad sometimes.
Yep.
Then you have,
which you could also put
Scream.
Scream, right? Really,
but Scream was really an homage to so many horror movies, and them using those lines.
Absolutely. But that line in Scream for some reason gets me.
Yeah, well,
just as much as it does in Psycho, but we all go a little mad sometimes. Like I picture that right now in my head, Billy Loomis saying that.
Dude, me too, man. Yo,
you know what I'm saying? Like that fucking line is just great.
Well,
yep. That's because it's the reveal. That's why it's so big. But dude, isn't that nuts, dude? Like, yeah, that's why Scream's so smart too. They took that classic fucking line and used it and fucking threw it back in the face.
Yeah, and they almost made it their own. But yeah, that's a great one. Great one.
And this one really, of course, there's 2 that John picked from The Shining. Of course, the famous.
Here's Johnny!
Which was good. But then this one that people sort of forget about because of the Here's Johnny line, which is, of course, reference to the late, great Johnny Carson. But this line we forget is where, and I'll play it, we have the...
Please! Don't hurt me! I'm not gonna hurt you. Stay away from me! Wendy! Stay away! Darling! Light of my life! I'm not gonna hurt you. You didn't let me finish my sentence. I said, I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains in. I'm gonna bash them right the fuck in.
Yep. Yep.
It's a great performance out. I want to start, Cole, is there any with one of those lines from a horror movie that if you hear, no matter how many times you hear it, it still sticks to you, and it helps make the movie that much better?
Yeah, I'm trying to go through some because I wrote down some ones here on my list. I think it's the Dracula, the Bram Stoker, where he's children of the night. You know,
yes, that's a good one.
That line.
I've never seen the movie.
It's a good movie.
I don't know. It's just an epic feeling. Like chill, you know. He's like calling to like his people.
Right.
And I don't know.
And
it's great.
How about you, fuckface, Dan?
Oh yes, sir. Yes, sir. Fucking Philly, idolize a fucking fake Rocky idol. Anyways, yeah. Of course you gotta. What's that?
No, I was just gonna say at least we didn't glorify racism in the '70s like you people did. But that's cool, you know. Just because we.
7.
Yeah, you just kind of you didn't like the Boston Celtics because there's too many black guys on the team. Yeah. Yeah, look up your history there about Boston. Real friendly place if you're white.
I got a short memories, but I remember Paul Pierce go back to Candace. That's as far as my memory goes back. Anyways, some good quotes. Yeah, of course you got the famous "Your mother sucks cocks in hell." There's that. Obviously, that's a good horror line.
That was
right?
the voicemail I left Dan 2 nights ago. I didn't know it was a movie.
And then and what about Friday the 13th? Obviously, this isn't a big one, but you're doomed. You're all doomed. Like that's fucking great.
Yeah, the old man,
Ralphie.
Yes.
Yeah, Ralph.
No, that
Yeah.
There's a lot of nice ones from Friday the 13th. That one though, because just the character itself, that's what makes it personally for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Then what about like okay, I got I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti. Got fucking what's his name there? Hannibal Lecter.
Anthony Hopkins as Hannibal Lecter. It's a phenomenal one, and even there's a line at the end of the movie where he talks to Jodie Foster on the payphone. He says,
"I'm having an old friend for dinner."
Yeah,
yeah, right.
No one else really picks that up.
Exactly.
But I remember watching that for the first time. I'm like, oh, I get it. He's gonna eat him. It was like, oh, duh.
Yeah, here,
but
I have one that this is one of those where it could be. It's a simple line when you look at it on the surface, but if it's not delivered by a certain actor, it just dies. And this one lives so perfectly of Bill Moseley from the Devil's Rejects of
I am the devil. And I am here to do the devil's work.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That's a bone-chilling fucking line.
I'll match that, Vince. I'll match that Bill Moseley line with just the significance of the line in itself, and it's very underrated. Have you checked the children?
That's a good one. And people with
right.
It's a great one. And here's the thing that I feel people have always waved aside when a stranger calls. When I first saw this film, I was maybe 10 or 11, and I watched it. I was disappointed at first because I thought the whole I thought what you saw on the trailer or what people used to tell you about, especially then, that was the tail end of the movie. I thought, I'm going to build up to it, but no, it's like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And as a kid, it was like, oh, this is very boring. You watch it older, and you truly appreciate what the film does.
Yep. And I'm one of the, I don't know if I'm in the minority, but I love that remake, too. For a PG-13, I love it.
I dislike the movie on so many different factors. There's one. I always try to find a positive or at least some kind of bright side, no matter what it is.
Right.
When it comes to the remake of When a Stranger Calls, which was done by Jack Wade Wall, who had these. He was supposed to be the next up and coming guy, and that.
Yeah, and then he did Amusement.
He also did the Hitcher 2 remake, and that didn't work. But with A Stranger Calls, when I first watched this, the first 2 minutes I was hooked, but then I fell apart because that first 2 minutes when you see the carnival in town, and you're hearing the phone call going in the background, you don't know where it's coming from. And the camera's panning. The babysitter flicks the light on, and only to see a figure appear to kill her, and then light goes back off. I thought that was a scary scene. But after that, the movie did not hook me anymore.
Really?
Just didn't,
Oh shit!
I didn't like it. I don't hate it. It's not good.
I gotcha.
I see. There's a lot of great horror lines out there. I feel if you could make, say, a top 5 list, which is really tough to do on one of these. Would you guys agree putting in a top 5 these two, or combine them as one, from going back to 1975's Jaws with Robert Shaw's both of his speeches, of the town hall speech and then the Indianapolis speech?
Yep.
Come on, and that's in your backyard, Dan.
Can we play? Oh, are you kidding me? Stone's throw away, man. I'm in Jaws fucking Central.
That has to be really short. Dan throws like a chick.
Yeah.
Just toss her in.
I don't think I could put it in my top 5 though, because I'm not a big Jaws guy. I don't hate the film. I don't, I enjoy it. I'm just not like a huge fan of it.
Well, respectfully speaking, I think you're a pussy. Come on, how can you not like what is? Okay, Cole. When did you first watch Jaws?
I probably first watched Jaws when I was 8, 9, 10, somewhere in there.
Oh.
Okay, so watched it early on.
Yeah.
When you first watched it as a kid, did you find it scary at all?
No, because I'm like, what are all these people running from a fucking shark? It's in the water. Get the fuck out of the water. It was just
logic is so funny.
You know what I mean? Like, there's this big shark in the water eating people. Don't go in the fucking water.
Oh, I think I could sell you on this point. I'm not. You don't have to say, oh, it is a great film, but I could at least sell you on this with Jaws. What makes it scary? How about breaking one of those rules? There's a child who dies in this film,
right?
And
man. I remember that.
I find it as a comical line. We're talking about horror, those chilling lines. But how about the mayor when they get the tiger shark and they want to cut it open? And they go, "We're not going to cut it open and have a Kittner boy spill out over this pier."
Dude, I love this movie. Cole, dude, watch Jaws again, man. Like,
I've seen it multiple times. Like I said, it's not that I don't like the film now.
Right.
It's back then. It still never really scared me. The only thing scary I thought was just like the camera view. You see the fin and you see the water and it's going, and you don't actually see the shark. So much. That was like the only thing that I really got me. So there was never any like quotes that really stuck with me for that film.
What about even the opening scene, like when she's in the water? Because I could see, because you're from Iowa, like how would you know?
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to know what the fuck the ocean was when I was 10. I mean,
dude, the closest thing you had was a slip and slide.
Yeah, in Clear Lake, that was like a mile around it, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So. But even are you gonna? Vince, besides those 2 speeches there, you got a couple other lines.
You have this one, "Smile, you son of a bitch." The ending. Exactly. And Dan, you brought something up psychologically. Maybe here's why. And I'm not getting on Cole because he's not a huge fan of Jaws that I am. It's your opinion. Now that I think about it, you're in Iowa. I grew up, most of my summers were spent at the Jersey Shore. Dan, you grew up...
That explains a lot, by the way.
It's confident Vince.
Hey, baby, you want to come back to my place over here? Let me win you a teddy bear. Hey!
Have you seen my ridiculously small tank top?
Guys, Jersey Shore's not bad. A lot of 8-year-olds get herpes, okay? It's not a bad place.
You know how I see Cole is that other show that MTV's got on. What is it?
Yes.
That's how I see Cole.
Which is not on anymore because some dipshit rolled his thing and killed himself.
Yeah. I wanted to bring that up before this was. I swear I was going to bring this up. The one idiot made himself die, or there's sometimes even atheists have to say there's a God. He died of carbon monoxide while four-wheeling or mudding or whatever they call it out there. So they won't do another show. And good good.
That's what the whole show was, though. Is them going up crazy fucking unrealistic hills with their fucking trucks. And I think the kid himself, he was already on his second or third fucking truck from the, because you know how a couple times I do put on TV, they got like all 3-4 episodes fucking in a row. So I banged them all out. And yeah, the kid was like through 3 or 4 trucks fucking by the third episode.
Yeah, it was Shane Gandy. He was only 21. He's died very young. But
sucks.
But it's that's what we promote today. We promote the more stupidity, and yeah, it stinks somebody dies. But at the same time, Margaret Thatcher passed away. People, that was a true legend. No matter what your political affiliation is, that was the greatest female politician ever. But of course, people probably know this dipshit died before Margaret Thatcher. Like, who's Margaret? What was she on? Was she on Jersey Licious? I don't know. Yeah. Like, no, dummy.
No, man, I'd put it in her.
She's on Teen Mom too, homie. wrong show.
And let's and that's what I want to get into. Okay, let's wrap up this one. With all the horror lines, the ones I was especially going over, I've watched a lot of the newer ones. I can't think of in the past 2 years, which is a good enough time, that anything that I saw would stick out. Something more recent would be, say, a Saw from 2004 of "Do you want to play a game?" That became a famous line.
Yeah,
or Game Over.
Game Over. Yeah, that too.
And I went back. I even rewatched Insidious. There wasn't anything that fully stuck out. There was, however, from Paranormal Activity 2, there's a line that stuck out. I want my fucking money back. That was from the people that saw it.
No, that was just all the pissed off fans.
Exactly. What's this shit? I could have just watched old family movies on fast forward. What are you doing?
See, then you're missing, the new ones don't have that. So you're missing like the old films like Candyman. Yes. This is one of my favorite fucking lines in a horror film ever. When Candyman goes, "They will say that I have shed innocent blood. What's blood for if not for shedding?"
Exactly. That's a great line.
Nice. That's like one of my favorite lines in a horror film ever, and it comes from Candyman.
And a solid actor in Tony Todd who played that character. Nobody. It's one of those where when it does get remade, we're going to have to compare who's ever playing Candyman. Who, by the way, Candyman could be played by anybody. You don't have to.
It doesn't have to be a black guy.
It could be any race. Because I know they're never going to follow that storyline as they tried in the second one with he was a former slave. But Tony Todd, I think it's a fact. The more likable you are in real life, the better badass you can play in a film.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree. Did you guys ever get into Holliston at all? You like that show?
I tried watching the first season because I was downloading it.
Right. Of course.
And some of the episodes didn't get a download, so I didn't get to finish all of them. I liked the first 4 I saw. So.
Somewhere Adam Green is crying.
I know, he's mad at me. I'm sorry. But what do you expect? I'm fucking in Iowa. I don't get an opportunity to buy that shit at a store, so I got to download it.
They have an episode where Tony Todd fucking won't leave, and he's just the guy on the couch, and they just try to get him out of there. They're like, Candyman won't leave, because he plays himself. Yeah.
Does he really?
Oh well, the show is brilliant like that, man. It's it's so smart.
It is getting picked up for a second season.
That's right.
That's going to start, I believe, in this summer. That will start. And to wrap up with all the famous horror lines, want to know, what's some of those your favorites out there? Always hit me up on the email or on the Facebook fan page. There are many that we didn't get to, such as I know there's the Frankenstein. It's alive. It's alive. There are so many with those lines that are just classic. That one day we got to come back and revisit this. Really try to. I want to get even deeper into them of what they really meant, but I just want to throw out just some of the favorite ones that maybe some of us forgot or just never thought about. Wrapping up on the news, I was at Lords of Salem.
Yes,
fast approaching.
I'm looking forward to it. Michael J. isn't. Mike is not looking forward to this. Very odd.
Really?
I think, honestly, not to make a joke, maybe because Malcolm McDowell's not in it. I don't know. Because Mike gets his he loves his certain people, but
but Michael McDowell wouldn't be playing Dr. Loomis, so it wouldn't be good anyway.
It wouldn't make sense to him. Right. But I think I'm hoping I'll make the split prediction because it's gonna turn out one of two ways. It's going to be either Rob Zombie's worst film ever made or his greatest achievement. No in the middle. No, it's good. Or great film. It's going to be, oh my God, he just set a whole new realm. Or he just screwed up his career.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
Well, he's doing your Philadelphia Flyers movie anyways, so he gets a rebound movie anyways. If this one's
I forgot about that. Yeah, because he was on Comcast Sports in Philly a couple months ago, but I forgot about talking about that. So, see, Dan? Yeah, because Rob Zombie picks winners. That's why. Not the Bruins.
No, I mean, come on. He's going with the underdog, you know? I mean, you can see that. 2
Stanley Cups back-to-back.
I'm telling you, man.
Martin Brodeur, the greatest goalie of all time.
If the Bruins aren't on, then the Red Sox are on. If the Red Sox aren't on, the Celtics are on. If the Celtics aren't on, who else we got? I can go on all day.
Watch new photos of Tom Brady. Pansy.
Oh, shit.
Of course you go there. Of course.
It's always about Tom Brady. Rob Gronkowski's only good at football because he's been wearing a helmet his whole life.
Yeah.
That half a retard.
I'm not going to defend Gronk.
I mean, for fuck's sakes, the man's body slamming kids in fucking clubs.
All right, I got an idea. Let's put the Patriots up against your team, Cole. Who do you got? What's your professional team there?
Oh, yeah, you know Aaron Rodgers will slice and dice Tom Brady any day.
Oh, come on now. Please. Anyways. So what were we talking about? Horrible sports? What, is this a horror show? Where are we?
Sports debate brought to you by a guy with a beer gut and one with more tattoos than half of Detroit.
Cole, is your body just one big tattoo? Like, is that the goal, is to make them all connect eventually?
It's just eventually getting there.
Right, yeah, and I'm not saying
that I really planned it that way. It just seems to be rolling that way.
Girls seem to like it because when they blow them, they have something to read.
Yeah, they have something to read or look at.
No, but
sometimes if they're not finished, they can color in the lines.
Oh, dude, but Lords of Salem, though. Honestly, I think you're right. The Devil's Rejects, though, dude, that was a great fucking movie. So
it was.
That'll be his best movie.
You're right. I think it's gonna get really weird. I heard a Q&A after the movie on YouTube, and I was watching it, and I'm not gonna give anything away, but it's purposefully trying to be just a fucking crazy movie, you know? If people go in being like, oh, fucking, you know, it's gonna be a good ending, it's one of those, the fucking ending is gonna be so left field, and it's just gonna be a weird fucking movie, so...
It's supposed to be more of a psychological film than anything,
exactly.
So yeah. You need to go in looking at that, not a horror aspect.
And that's why I'm really looking forward to that one. That's something I'll see opening weekend. Before we wrap up, it's not horror related, but I thought many of the guys who listen, and I think our demographic's probably 90% men, if you watched MTV's Teen Mom, you might remember Farrah Abraham. Well, Farrah Abraham, the sexy 21-year-old, will be doing her first porno.
No.
Yes. She's going to be doing it with veteran star James Dean.
Wow.
Who's very known for his aggressive style. And that should be coming out within a couple months.
So she's going to get pounded.
Yes. And
so she'll be on Teen Mom 3 is what Vince is saying.
No, James Dean doesn't do any cream pie scenes. He's known for pulling out. And it's.
I was going to say now, what exactly? Now, who's producing? Like, in what capacity? Now?
Is it a Brazzers?
Yes.
No, they never put out that type of stuff, and so far it's kind of been tight-lipped with the details. So far, she has both James Dean and her came out saying that yes, they've done this together
as a business bros,
and I think overall her attempt for doing this was to probably get more fame.
Oh yeah, more money.
It worked.
Yeah.
And that's.
I'm hard.
Well, she's not a bad-looking chick either. So at least it wasn't one of the really atrocious ones.
Right. Oh God, yeah, like Amber, the fat one.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
This was a troll, a straight up fucking real life troll.
Was that the one whose boyfriend was Gary?
Yeah.
I watched Teen Mom. Okay, I watched the first season. There was an episode with this fat sack of shit Gary. He goes to Walmart to get a promise ring, and he pays $21.95, and then asks about the return policy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You fat fuck.
Gary. Yeah. Oh my god, dude. See, that's why whenever I feel bad about my life, I just turn on.
Yeah.
Hey,
it's true.
As I post on Facebook, when I feel bad, I really do. I watch To Catch a Predator, and I go, whew, man, I might have some fucked up things in my life, but I don't want to bang a 12-year-old. Like, I'm doing pretty good. Like,
that's the guy that
you're doing well.
That's when any how bad your problems are. It's like, at least Chris Hansen's not judging me. It's not too. It could be worse.
I love the guys that keep eating the cookies all nervously. Like, dude, you're fucked. You're not gonna get out of this by eating cookies.
I still get freaked out if I go over to a new girl's house and she offers me anything within the first minute. It's like, I'm out of here. Yeah. What do you mean you just bake cookies?
Oh,
what's with all these black curtains facing the doors? You were free to leave. No, you're not.
You see there was one guy who fucking, as soon as he sat down, he just whipped out his cock and started jerking it. It's like, wow, dude. Have you no shame?
That guy's just getting ready, Dan. He's warming up.
Yeah.
He's just warming up.
Well, and the guy was 90 trying to go after a 16-year-old. And when I exaggerate, but he was definitely in his 60s at least, maybe 70s. It was gross.
Well, as my 10th grade teacher once used to say, dream big. You know.
Exactly.
Hey,
dream big and you'll get tasered.
And Chris Hansen will judge you and then read the transcripts. I wasn't going to do anything. You said I want to put my blank in your stinking blank and then put my blank all over your blanking face. Oh, well, it was out of context.
I love how the news segment has gone to this already. Like, it starts off with Fort to Salem, something legitimate, goes from Farrah from Teen Mom being into porn into whatever we're at now. I love it.
Well, the day that I care about having the #1 horror podcast is the same day I'm going to brag about bagging a fat chick. You all,
like you just said, man, dream big.
You all people who don't like the show, okay, listen to others. What else do you want me to say?
Yeah, right.
I did have fun doing this. I really did. And if you want to check out Dan Moore, of course, there's the Skeleton Crew. And I know I posted your interview on the Rabbit and Red Facebook fan page. It really was a phenomenal interview because just your passion and your enthusiasm is the biggest thing. It's almost like an 8-year-old in a good way. You're just that enthusiastic. It was a solid interview with great questions too. It was a question about drug. That's the turn. The
mushroom questions. Yeah. That's why I shined, because it was about mushrooms.
But that's one of those things that I guarantee nobody else ever asked him on an interview, and that's what makes that the best interview I feel that I've heard in a long time. I really do.
Cool, man. Thanks, bro.
Anytime. And Cole, who's now the mainstay member of Rabbit and Red. It's always that's why I love working with Cole, because he's easygoing, he's passionate, and I can rag on him whenever I want.
Yeah, man, that's why I'm happy to be on with you guys too. You guys are fucking awesome. So yeah, man, it's been too long.
It has. We'll definitely do this again, and hopefully in the future there'll be others that can bridge together. Mike and Alex, you can work out your differences. Oh, that was supposed to be subliminal. I fucked it up. Just have fun.
Yeah, I gotta hit that edit button.
I don't like that. I'm not big in editing. That whole thing that I talked about, how the Nazis, I'll leave that in too.
It's a good idea.
If we can find a way to combine horror reviews on movies with sports references, maybe someday.
And Nazi politics.
And Teen Mom 2 references.
Yeah. Well, you could with the horrible Nazi politics, because that would be probably the Weinsteins to most people with how they run their studio. But hey, for Dan, for Cole, I'm Vince. I thank you again, and we will be back here next week. And Michael J is actually booking me a guest as we speak. So I am back in the saddle with the Gitmeister himself once again, and can't wait to get back on the interview and doing a really atrocious one for you great people. We'll see you here.
Can't wait.
It'll be fun. Take care, everyone.
Let's dance in style, let's dance for a while. Heavy Summer like water, summer like the heat. Summer a melody, summer the beat. Sooner or later, they'll all be gone. But don't they stay young? So hard to get old without a cause. Don't wanna perish like a fading rose. Youth like diamonds in the sun. Diamonds are forever. So many adventures couldn't happen today. So many songs we forgot to play. So many dreams coming out of the blue. We'll make them come true. Forever young. I want to be forever young. Do you really wanna live forever? Forever, never. Forever young. I want to be forever young. Do you really wanna live forever? Forever young. I want to be forever young. Do you really wanna live forever? Forever young.